their name, harbour porpoises. It's really their area where they're found. But this is only one trip. This is only one survey. On the last survey in the fjords, they only had 2 harbour porpoises. So you can see now why we need to keep doing these surveys and collect really long-term data before we try to make any kind of theories or conclusions about these animals. But I know there'll be people in ORCA who are particularly impressed with the count of harbour porpoises we have in the fjords. So this is why we do it. It's because of these. They are the largest group of sea mammals that we have, mammals that live in the sea that are adapted to life in the sea. And you can see we do have a wide variety, and over 30% of them are found in European waters. And I'm sure many of you were surprised at what you're able to see in the North Sea. And maybe you did not hope to see anything on this trip, and you did, which would be the positive outcome. We also, the charity, as well as the long-term surveys, we also carry out education and public awareness. And these are some of the activities we do on board the ferries and also, of course, on board this ship as well. So here we have a deck watch, we have children's activities, and here's another deck watch with people looking out to sea. And that's really because we want to see a lot more of this in the future. This is what we ideally like to see, and a lot less of this, hopefully. So, would you like me to tell you a bit more about the other animals that we saw? Yeah. No, great, I will do then. So we saw some seals, fantastic. We do record the seals. So we saw some grey seals, and then further into the coastal and the fjord area, we saw common seals. And we also saw a ringed seal, and that was when we were visiting Pulpit Rock. And this is really a polar species, but we do get polar species coming further down. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a photo for you, but there is a photocopy of a picture of one on the table, so please come and look afterwards, because it really was a fantastic sighting. These seals here with the beautiful white-coat pups, breeding mainly on kind of rocky areas. That's the grey Atlantic seal. And we have a big population of those in the UK. And then we have the common harbour seal, the smaller seal, and whereas the grey seals pup during the winter months, these have pupped in July and August, and they're on a lot of sandy areas which are often inaccessible to us. And it's also those which some of the orcas are particularly interested in, because their pups, unlike these whitecoats, will go straight out to sea and swim about, so they make a good little meal. Gannets, I hope you all got to see these, fantastic, our biggest seabirds, so a wingspan of about 1.8 meters. And they come in to shore areas, onto rocks like this and a very few cliff areas where they lay their egg. And this is the kind of spacing you have in areas like this. What we say, there's really only space for the gannet's bill to turn, and then you bump into your neighbour, a bit like being on some of the streets of London. And here we have the mating display. So this is just reinforcing the pair bond when they come in to nest each year to the same place and lay their egg. The rest of the time, they're very much at sea. They can travel over 200 miles to find food. And this is them flying, and this is, of course, the spectacular diving they do from more than 20 meters above the sea. And they go in something like an arrow, and they can travel down 20 meters or more to catch a fish, and they're able to see that from very high up. So they're also very useful for us because they will go and investigate porpoises. They will go and join in when a whale is bringing food to the surface, and when there's dolphins, they start circling and diving into water, and that diving is moving along at quite a fast pace. And then there's probably dolphins, and you just have to watch that area. And that's how we picked up the minke whales on the way over, was from a gannet feeding frenzy. We also had some of these, which always makes the children and the adults laugh at its name. The shag, this is in breeding plumage, so it has this lovely crest here, and its close relative is the cormorants. These birds are reasonably ancient, and they never developed oil to stop them from becoming waterlogged, and that's why we see them in this Dracula-like pose, drying off their wings. But it also allows them to dive because they don't have any problems with air bubbles, and they can dive and swim really well and catch fish. So we'd have seen them on the rocks and also flying over as well. We had lots of the gulls, and some people got on to telling them apart. So we had our biggest, the greater blackback gull.